Hello, everyone. Please meet Papao. That is correct. That's his nickname on TikTrash. Papao is a Venezuelan migrant TikToker who loves the app. But let's face it, most of them do. He recently went on a live stream sharing his story of that time when he crossed over the border into the United States, all while taking a shower. Lord have mercy. Papao is very busy on TikTrash. He is keeping his audience entertained. And well, he couldn't catch a break, as you can imagine. So busy that he had to go through that live stream while washing himself. What a time to be alive, America. What an amazing time. Anyhow, I endured about 45 to 55 minutes of that live stream. And so I watched it. I think it is fair that you watch it too. And I will go over the entire live stream, okay? Where he truly opened up, no pun. And I will do my best to translate this for you. And I know a lot of you guys in the comment section have questions like, why are they coming here? Don't they realize the economy of the United States right now is pretty much in the toilet? Americans are struggling to pay their bills. And these migrants think this is, I don't know, the best place to come in without any cash or any form of skill. Well, Papao will indirectly answer a lot of those questions since he is an open book. Hence, I took that opportunity to record it and now translate it for you. That being said, let's get started. All right, guys, before we start, please smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Do not forget to share this video. You know, you will not be watching something like this on the news. Now, I do want to inform you that it is a complete challenge here to fully understand what he is saying in Spanish, as you can imagine. He's all over the place. And so I will do my best to give you a message that makes sense for all intended purposes. But if I do sound like an idiot and my English is all over the place, please excuse it. I mean, look at the source. All right. So here he starts the live stream, or perhaps he was a few minutes in by the time I noticed that he was live, and he is discussing his nephew. He is a child, he says. My brother is also innocent in all of this, he says. And so we all suffer. I guess he's discussing about when he told his family he was going to leave. So, you know, I didn't want to make them suffer, and I've been thinking for a while where to go. So, you know, about 6 months ago, I told my brother, the one that passed away. So I guess his brother passed away before he came to the U.S. I want to go to the U.S., he says. And my brother, really? And he would, you know, he would listen to music with me and we would sing songs about traveling and stuff like this, and that's where he starts singing, and he's pretty much rambling right now. So yeah, we were just singing and cracking jokes about, traveling to the US and, having boat rides. We were just imagining things and just dressing up and pretending, I guess, that he was going to go on a trip. And so he says at that time, nothing happened because I told my mom, I want to go to America. And I've heard that people are going through the jungle, mother. And my mom says, are you out of your mind? I've heard that the jungle is dangerous. They are raping people, even men are getting raped. What if you die on the way? It's insane. Sounds like the mother had some common sense here. So yeah, my mom was telling me, the gorillas is there. It's just very dangerous. So, don't risk it. And it's very dangerous. And then if something happens, we will not be able to find you. So I said, yeah, you're right. So we got kind of cold to the idea, he says. And yeah, let's not go like that, he said. Let's wait a little bit. And maybe, sometime in the near future, we can get a job or save some money and get a passport and go. And that's what we thought, that we can just get a passport and just travel to the US. Imagine. That's how naive we were, he says. But, eventually, in a way to escape my suffering and my depression, I decided to go to the US, meaning the depression after his brother passed away. So that's when he decided to go to the US. After his brother passed away, he was too depressed in Venezuela, and so he decided to come to the US after that happened to escape the sadness. Okay, so he's going over that he couldn't sleep, and he was thinking about getting away from his current reality. I was in pain because of my brother, and I was sleeping, let's say, going to sleep like around 9 a.m. and would wake up at 1 or 2 p.m. Only got a few hours to sleep. That was, of course, at the time I was already in Colombia. So he already went from Venezuela to Colombia, okay, at this point. So then he's just saying hi to somebody on the comment section. Yeah, just talking to the comment section right now. And then he says, yeah, so I'm in Colombia. And then again, he got interrupted by the comment section. Please bear with me here. I'm just going to play the entire live stream, okay? So just to recap here while he is reading some of the comments. Yeah, so his brother passed away. He got depressed. He already knew he wanted to travel, get out of Venezuela. And so after that happened, he finally made a decision to do it. And he went to Colombia first. Although we already know he wanted to come to the US first, right? That's what he was talking to his brother at the time. Now, he didn't specify if that was the brother that passed away or another brother, but it was discussed. Okay. So here he is telling, I guess, someone that he knows in the comment section, we'll play that game tomorrow. Imagine, it's so busy, right? That schedule. Yeah, we'll play tomorrow, he says. He is focused on the story for today. So yes. So I'm in Colombia. And then I tell my mother, I say, hey, Mom, I'm going to the US. 3 days before I departed to the US. And my mom was sad because she knew that it was going to be rough. And let me tell you guys, I came without any money. Guys, she knew my condition. My mom only gave me about 300,000 pesos, Colombian pesos, I am guessing. And that's an equivalent to $73. So, yes, I came with my cousin. He had more money than me. He did have some valuables on him. He had nice clothing, but I didn't. Anyway, Pam, the moment came, the day came, and I was a bit mad, a bit upset with my mother. I don't know why. I don't remember. But she was sad that she knew that whatever she told me, it would not stop me from coming. She knows that when I make a decision, I move forward. And well, my mother always, I would always tell my mother, whoever messed with me, I would let them have it. And she knew that I would go ahead and proceed, even if she told me not to do it. Well, so that day I packed up my things, my bag, and I told my mother I'm leaving to the US. And well, Pam, he says, it was the time, and my cousin was downstairs, and he said, hey, cuz, let's go. And I told my mom, hey, Mom, I'm leaving. And she started to cry. Yeah, she's my mother. Hey, can you imagine? I needed to escape that reality. I wanted to get far away from my family because of the pain I was in. I wanted to just forget about the pain, but I knew it was a lie. Like I couldn't get away from it. Well, so we went to the bus station, and then they told us that we would depart the following morning. So the morning came, and we went to that other city. And well, I did have a big breakfast prior my trip. Yes, it was a big breakfast, and we went on our way. And then there were some people or some crazy guys selling stuff in the bus, and we bought some snacks from him. So we made it to the next stop, and there was a lot of people there buying like some soft drinks, buying those packeted meals, like soups and stuff like that. And we were just at some point even fishing. And well, the next day we bought our tickets to continue on the journey. And the next day we were making another line, and there was Haitians, Chinese people, Dominicans, Venezuelans. We met a Colombian guy. He was so crazy, that Colombian guy. And he was hanging around with all of us. Well, so we were just relaxing there. And then the boat came in. And they called our name. And, well, it's time to sit here and you sit there. And they put the lifesavers on us. And we were like, okay, well, let's do it. Once I am sitting on that boat, I realized I cannot go back. This is it. Damn, he says. damn, he says, there is no turning back now. And I look back and I see, wow, I'm getting deeper into the ocean, into the middle of the ocean. And I started cursing and I was scared and I knew this was real now. Then we made it to another stop, and then we got on a bike, and then we made it to a section where we were going to eat. So I was very excited. I was like, wow, I see a lot of ladies. Well, I see some ladies serving food, but it turns out they were selling the food, he says. So people were purchasing these meals, and we were like, what? Yes, you have to buy it over here. People were telling him and his cousin that if you guys want to eat, you have to purchase. And he said, yeah, but we don't have that money. So they would tell them, well, you have to, from here, you have to pay your guide or you won't move forward. And they would tell me, is this much? And then he was like, what do you mean you're not going to let me out? So then, there was a big line, and eventually we sort of, some people just skipped the line to not pay, right? And so we did the same thing. We followed those that were skipping the line. And then some guy in the back was yelling, hey, did you guys pay? Did you guys pay? And we were like, yes, we did. And well, I'll be damned, they grabbed me and they were asking me if I paid. And I was laughing. I was like, yes, I paid, but let's just check. Let's check ahead, he would say. But they were questioning me. Did you pay? Did you pay? And he was like, yes, I paid. So I had no choice. I had to pay $50 to move forward. And so we were just in shock, but we kept following the crowd, and then we made it to an encampment, he says. We put our tents up, and we looked for a way to make a campfire to get some lighting. Well, the next day we had to proceed with the journey, and it was raining, and we had to go up the mountains, and my bag was full of food, and my cousin too. He was heavier than me, and I said, brother, are you crazy? This bag of yours is too heavy, it's breaking, so I cannot help you with it, I told him. Let's see if we can get rid of some of the stuff that you don't need, and we'll keep some bread or something. So he would tell me, no, you have to carry my bag and help me. So I was like, what do you mean I have to take that bag? So he was mad. My cousin was mad. So I was like, okay, sure. I just let him believe that I would. And then at some point I said, you know who's going to take this? And then he cursed. And I just got rid of it, and I continued walking and walking. We made it to the next stop, and he was upset, but I was just arguing with him. Well, so we are at the next stop, and then we were just fighting through that jungle. At some point, I ended up going alone. And I'm Papao, right? So I was just, rocking my hair, and, I get along with everybody, he says. But, at some point I was alone, and I was trying to help some people pass. And then some people would would be so nice to me, and they ended up liking me, a lot of those people that were traveling in that caravan, because I was helping them sometimes throughout the hard parts of the trip, of the walk. And I would tell myself, my mother is sick, she is a diabetic, and I need to keep going. And I would say that to myself all the time. Eventually, I made it out of the jungle. And I said, my mother will kill me if she knew where I was. And then I made it to a shelter. And I lost my pants that had my Venezuelan IDs. And the people there didn't want to return my pants. So I got up in front of everybody and I said, and I cursed, if I find out who has my pants, I will break them apart. I will break their faces apart. And I was very angry. I was cursing and I was just making threats. And then some guy was like, Brownie. And I was like, what? You know, like a thug, right? He was like, what? He was like, no, Brownie, come here. This other guy would tell me. And I'm like, what? What do you want? And he says, bro, don't think that I stole your pants, but I just found it on that table, but I have your pants. You know, I'm going to give it to you, okay? And I'm like, and so he told me, just relax. And he's like, what do you mean you have my pants? Whatever. I was like getting very aggressive. But he kept telling me, relax. I got your pants. So he's telling his audience, hey guys, I was scared. How can I make it to the US without an ID? That's crazy, he says. Let's face it, he can clearly make it to the US without an ID. I'm sure he found out later on. But anyhow, so he's saying, yeah, you know, I was just freaking out. I lost my Venezuelan IDs. I wanted to keep my documentation. And that guy returned the pants. He gave me the pants, but then I checked and my IDs were not there. So I started to making threats. And I told him, if I lose my ID, you will be responsible. Nevertheless, I go to an area where he told me to check to see if my IDs were there. And yes, another gentleman gave me the ID, and I did apologize afterwards for making threats and having, saying some foul language. But I was very angry. I told them I got blinded by the anger. I needed my IDs, and, but you gave them to me now, so we are all good. Papao is all good. So he's like, the other guy said, no, don't worry, nothing's happened. Let's move on. Well, later on, I call my cousin and I tell him, hey, I'm here. My cousin says, yes, call your father. And now he's rambling once again. And so now he's saying that his father was also with them. He says, guys, my father was waiting for me in that area where there are a lot of colonies. How do you say that? He says there's a lot of colonies. Is Panama, and then the next one, Costa Rica. Costa Rica, yes. So my father is like, yes, I'm in Costa Rica, yada yada yada, and I got my bag and I'm like, my cousin is waiting for me. My father's waiting for me over there in a bed, and I was stinking. Let's be honest, he says. I was stinking. Like, you know what? But I got there, I took a shower, I ate my meal, and guys, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to deny this, he says. We have to be sincere here. We have to be sincere. I had to beg on the streets. Okay, so this is prior going to Costa Rica, okay? So he ate his meals, he took a shower and everything, and he was begging for cash on the streets. Guys, we're not rich. We didn't come here with a lot of money. And I'm being honest, I had to beg for cash on the way. And I was humiliated. I went through it. People look at you upside down, and it's embarrassing. But I lived through it. And boom, boom, bam, bam. My father also was supporting me, and my cousin did have his money, okay? He did. But you know, that's his money, right? You also have to solve your own problems. But thanks God, God never abandons his children, he says. Always remember, God never abandons his children, he says. Okay? And boom, boom. Then we made it through. People would help me a lot. And, you know, people would look at me and sometimes they would give me boom, boom. They would give me cash. And it's not that I was dressed like a beggar. He says, no, I was decent, but I was honest. I was honest with them. I would say I need to make this much to be able to pay my ticket. My goal is to make it to the US. And if any of you would like to help me with that goal, then bro. Then where was it? Yeah, so he told the people, if you would like to help me, then please do so, you know, and that's it. And then he says, it was in Mexico. Mexico was crazy for me. I am, you know, when you cross from, what's that country? Wait, no. Hold on. Let me tell you something first. No, let me tell you something first. Before Mexico. Before Mexico. What's that country? I keep forgetting, he's asking. Not Salvador. Guatemala. Well, in Guatemala, we had some friends. His name is Lester. Lester's family. They received me. Let's give them a round of applause, even though they are not watching this. I got to that house. Pam. Pam. I got to that house, and they were very accommodating. Food. Look, I was there 1 week in that house. 1 week, 1 full week. And of course, I would help them sometimes with some food and stuff. Well, not food. I would help them out with perhaps some handy stuff. But they would give me perfume. They would give me food. And I was like a superstar over there. Let me show you this photo, he says. And he's looking, he's browsing his gallery right now to his photo gallery to show us that photo from Guatemala. So let's see. Let me show you the photo so you see what I am talking about. People. That's me in Guatemala. Look at that. In Guatemala. I'm telling you, this was after exiting the jungle. And this is Guatemala, I swear, he says. Someone in the comment section said that looks like a hood in Venezuela. But he says, no, this is in Venezuela. You know what it's like to struggle to come here walking, and making or crossing all of those countries. And look how skinny I was. Well, I've always been skinny, but I was really skinny there. Moving along, as I was telling you, I'm not going to deny, there were some ladies that were falling for me, if you will, and they would buy me beers and stuff like that. And I didn't want to leave because people would tell me, don't leave. But I had to leave. My goal was to come here to the US. But people loved me there. They treated me like a king. And Lester ended up coming with us. And he was also very supportive on the road. You get me? Well, why? Well, because I'm telling you, it was hard to leave Guatemala, but I had to. And they would take me, in Guatemala, they would take me to farms and stuff. I guess Lester's family and friends had farms and things like that. And they would take me to their farms to have fun. And it was an amazing time in Guatemala. Wow. Well, eventually, I left. I made it to Mexico. To the border. To the Mexican border first, okay? And then I was almost fainting. And they were telling me, sit down here, drink some water, eat something. Because I was fainting, but I ended up relaxing. I said, damn. Then I heard, you have to go to this plaza. They're having a meeting where they are going to form a caravan and move together, proceed on the journey to the US. So we started walking and walking and walking. Yeah, whatever that means. And we went through various officials, Mexican officials. And at some point, we encountered some Venezuelans that were acting like thugs. And the Salvadorian that was leading our caravan, he was telling them to calm down. But those Venezuelans were at the end of the line and they were smoking MJ and, well, they were acting like complete thugs. And I was chilling, I was like relaxing. My friend was upset, but, my friend was relaxed, so I was relaxed too. If my friend would get upset, then I would lose it. But at some point, I got very angry. And the Salvadorian is telling them, guys, don't smoke. But they answered in a rude manner. He was like, hey, this and that. And then I got up and I said, what is your problem? What is your problem? And I started just yelling at them, why are you acting like a thug, this and that? And I was very clear. I'm not saying that I'm a bigger thug than they are, but, why are you guys smoking here? There are ladies starving here and you guys are smoking like idiots. So we started screaming and the people were cheering me on. And so we were arguing back and forth. Can you imagine these people watching these two Venezuelans going at it? Unreal. Anyway, so eventually the other Venezuelan guys that were smoking calmed down and they were telling me, don't talk to me like that. And I said, well, I have to talk to you like that because you're being rude and you are going to ruin our trip. And, I just went hard on them. And well, we started walking, and then eventually those guys diverted. They wanted to do whatever they want. I said, hey, if you want to do whatever you want, just go ahead, just leave us then. If you want to be smoking, stay back, do what you want to do, and then join us later. That's what I told them. Don't ruin this for all of us. And so my friend was like, calm down, man, calm down, brother. You're crazy. Don't do that. Don't fight here. And then this could get out of hand. So I was like, no, don't worry. I was angry, he said. And then at some point, it was 300 of us. And now it was we reached the most challenging part of the trip. And then some officials told us, you have to go back. We will not let you in. We will not let you through. And the Salvadorian guy was upset. He says, we are not going back. We will move forward. And the officials put their shields up, and the Venezuelan and the Salvadorian leader said, oh yeah? Then we're going to pass the wrong way. We're going to pass through the wrong path. And at the moment we do that, a bunch of police cars show up, and they said, jump through this area, and we jumped and we started running. And there was a fat friend of ours. I don't want to make fun of him if you're watching, he says, but it was hilarious because he's fat. So one of the officials grabbed the shield and he slammed the shield against him, but he was so fat and big that the official bounced off the fat guy and he fell down. So it was hilarious. And we're all watching and screaming. And those of us that jumped out of that area saw that 3 officials followed us. But we started to run, and the fat guy also started to run since they couldn't do anything to him. And we were just entering that area, and then we saw a drone that passed by us. It was like a movie, like an action movie, he says. I'm telling you. And I was so excited and scared and everything. It was crazy. And at some point, we made it to an area that was weird. We encountered the cartel. They were in horses and stuff with guns. And I was like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do now? And the Salvadorian was like, nobody speaks, nobody takes their phones out. Let me do the talking here. So we were all quiet. And then, well, we were there. The cartels were talking to him, to the Salvadorian leader. And the cartel member said, everyone has to cooperate here. We will guide you, but you have to pay. And he says, imagine, this is crazy. They had guns. And I was like, damn, he says. He's cursing, by the way. I'm just trying to, keep it realistic here. So another guy was recording like an idiot, and one of the cartel members saw that, and he yelled at him, and he took his phone away. He snatched that phone away. And I tell him, don't say anything, you fool. And then the guy was like, well, my phone, where's my phone? And I was like, brother, shut up. You lost your phone. Forget it. Your phone is gone. And then later on, he thanked me. He said, "Thank you for telling me not to complain about the phone. Otherwise, I would have been killed, probably." Anyway, so they guided us via horse first and then via motorcycles. And we made it to that a train track. Okay? And I was like, this is insane. I'm tired of all of this. You know, I was talking to the Salvadorian guy. This is insane. Let's see if we can start taking some buses or something, some cars. And then, you know, we were discussing that. We did. Started going like this. I don't know what the heck that means. And then we did take some buses and some cars, some rides. At some point, we got to an area. And we made it to a town where they charged us $100 per person. And I was like, what? What do you mean, 100? No, it's 100 per person. And I was like, 50. No, it's 100. No, it's 100 to let you through the next, to take you to the next area. And wow, it was 100 per person. When we went to the next town, which was San Pedro, it was 10 minutes away. Can you believe it? 10 minutes away. $100 to just take us on a 10-minute ride. So we made it to San Pedro, and there was a bunch of mosquitoes there. It was insane. We took out the permit that day, you know, to stay in the country or the area. And we stayed over there for a little bit. Then we renewed the permit. My father left me behind. He had to move forward. And I was like, you know, I had to go to a supermarket to try to make some money. Okay? For a week. And I ended up sleeping on the side of a house. So I was in the supermarket helping people with their bags and calling the taxis for the customers, and sometimes they would tip me. And the manager liked me. The manager of the supermarket ended up liking me, and he was very kind to me. He says, "Come here." He told me, "Go buy 2 tacos, one for you and one for me. Go here." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to go purchase the tacos he told me to buy." And I went ahead and purchased my taco and his taco, as he said. He also bought me a soda. And then he tells me, "You see that machine over there inside? You can sit there and help people with their bags and their groceries, and they will tip you," he says. So he was asking me, why was I there? I said, "Yes, I'm from Venezuela. I'm trying to go to the US. And I made a lot of money there," he says. My cousin would tell me I have money, this and that, but let me tell you guys, I made money there. Okay? And then, once I made what I needed to make, I paid for my ride. And right away, boom! To... What area is that? New Mexico? No, not New Mexico. The capital. What's the capital? Oh, yes. Mexico City. Yes, Mexico's capital. I got there and it was extremely cold. Yes, it was Mexico City. And it was very cold, guys. Well, brother, let me tell you, I still needed some money. I called my aunt in Spain. "Aunt, I need some money. You know, I'm really close. It's just one more step to make it to the US. Please." And so she told me, okay, I'll send it to you. I was like, yes. I was celebrating. And then there was an issue, a whole process to be able to get that money out. And so a guy was giving me a lot of issues to make that withdrawal. I was like pretty much begging people to help me get that money out. And so, in Mexico, when you want to make a transaction like this, they want to charge you a fee. They want to charge you commissions. Well, eventually I was able to get that money. And I bought my ticket to the city of Juarez. And at that point, I used half of the money right away in one ride. Okay. Right there where they drop you in that area by the city of Juarez. And, I was telling the guy that was taking us that, hey, I only had this amount of money for me and my cousin. And then the guy says, once we get it there, once we get to the location, he's like, get out of the car and jump over there. And then as soon as I get out, I jump over the puddles and I started running, and I go over and like some sort of fence or something, and I see the English letters. And it says like Texas or something. And I look at my cousin and I'm like, look, that's America, that's the US. And my cousin was crying. He was calling his mother. And, I couldn't call my mother. I couldn't call anyone. So I was crying. And I was excited that I made it. And damn, it was hard, but I made it. And we started walking. We walked together through that area, and we made it to the U.S. immigration, and they removed everything from us. Whatever we had on, any accessories, as if we were prisoners, he says. The deodorant, the toothbrushes, everything. I had to make a line to do the fingerprinting, and it was very cold. They gave me a piece of bread. I ate it. Then later on at night, they gave us another piece of bread, and we were sleeping there with those little bags that they give us. And then suddenly they call us and they put us in like a cell. And they said, hey, if you behave, you will leave early. If you don't behave, you'll stay here for a longer period of time. I said, wow, this is like prison. So I was like, wow. In the morning, around 5 a.m., get up. I didn't sleep anything. I was just super excited. And then they sent us to, it's like an area where they have a lot of tables, and they gave us food. And they were asking us where we were going to go. So I asked my father, where are you? And my father told me, just tell them that you're going to Chicago. I said, Chicago. Yes, Chicago. Yes. He was excited. And ironically, he says, they took me to the same shelter in Chicago where my father was staying at. Let me tell you, I was very cold. I was buying juices and stuff, and people were buying juices and stuff once they got there. My cousin stayed in Mexico, and he had money, okay? Remember, he had more money than me. He stayed in Mexico, just so you believe what I'm telling you, that God never abandons his children. Especially when you when you do good things in life, he says. I didn't go, well, my cousin stayed in Mexico, so I'm in Chicago. And when I look over there, my father is right there with the fat guy that I told you earlier about. And I got excited. I was like, that's my father. That's my father. And then, you know, we hugged each other. And yes, I stunk. I stunk, guys. My father was like, hey, let me give you this. Let me give you some clothing. And so I took a shower. And yes, I stunk. He's telling the comment section. You know, I stunk like you know what. Okay, I hadn't showered in a while. And so I got there within 3 days, guys. They closed the border. Well, 2 days. They closed the border. Because I got there, let's say today, and then the next day I went ahead and then they closed it. They closed it. Yeah. He's in shock. I was like, no, this can't be. They closed the border. And I told my cousin in Mexico, I was like, let's go, let's go. And he would tell me, no, I gotta wait for this other friend, this and that. And he would tell me, America will never go away. It will always be there. Why are you in a rush? And I was like, you see? And then he's saying that he worked in construction later on. Then he worked washing dishes. And now I do some landscaping every now and then. With machines, if those are provided to me. If not, you know, without it. But yeah, people, these are the things that we go through. That was my journey. Of course, I didn't tell you everything, you know. I did sleep on the streets. I cried alone. Okay? I would be walking on some streets crying. And well, guys, thank you for everything, but that was my story. And he just wrapped it up right there. And that was all she wrote. Now, he is accurate in the sense of there was a time where the border was closed temporarily, not for a while, okay? And then it was reopened and things got even worse. But I just wanted to share this live stream with you because we are able to see what the mentality is from a lot of these individuals, where they just have that goal in mind. They have to come to America no matter what. He clearly announced to all of us that Guatemala was fabulous. They were treating him like a superstar. And he also said that there were some other areas that it was actually fun and he had a good time. But the goal was always the U.S. And they're lucky that the Biden administration is allowing them to do that. Now, if we go by the book, just cause your brother passes away which, for the record, that's unfortunate. We don't wish that upon anyone. But that doesn't really give you a case to seek asylum in the US. That's just not how it works. And although from what he is explaining here, or from the details that he elaborated on, it didn't seem like he has or had any ill intentions or is making fun of the US or anything like what we've seen before. However, he did tell us that there was another group of Venezuelans traveling within his caravan. And that's the point here, is that it's open for anybody. It is a complete mix. You can have some decent people that are coming, and then you can have the disaster tagging along. And the vetting system is just what he said. Do your fingerprinting, behave when you're in that cell for a couple of days, and you're good to go. You can move forward. That's the process to enter America right now. No need to apply for a visa, to do a background check, to pay any fees. Yeah, guys, thank you for watching this episode. Please follow me everywhere. Don't forget to share this video and let me know what you think in the comment section below. I will see you guys on the next one.